Hey guys, hope you're doing well. And today we're going to talk about drop shotting for smallmouth. And what I'm going to do is go over my rod, reel, whole setup, and then I'm going to have some highlight clips showing you using that Z-Man trick shot. And we're going to get up close, go into a lot of details, and really tell you why this whole thing works. So let's go over the basics. What is drop shotting to get started off? That's when you have your weight below your line with the leader, and then you have your bait and hook above it, just like that. So when it lands on the bottom, it suspends your bait right off there, holds it right in front of their face, and really gets their attention. What I like about this is you're able to fish a lot of deep water, and this is a situation I like to do this the most. I spend a lot of time, I'll be out there idling, looking with my Lowrance graphs, really trying to figure out where those fish are located and how they're positioned. Looking usually for like rock piles, little drops. It could be a big boulder, it could be a sand flat with some grass on it. It just depends on what lake you're at and how you're going to target them. During the summer, in this video, I was catching a lot of those fish in that 20 to 30 foot range, and it was this exact setup I got going here now. So the rod that I use when I'm drop shotting is the favorite jackhammer. This is the 721 medium heavy. You can see the rod itself loads up perfect. If you want more detail on this rod, I have another video called Favorite Rod for Your Job. That one goes over everything about it, a lot of details, but one of the big things, how you have your drop shot weight, it slides right in there. Holds it, keeps your hook away. It's perfect for that sort of setup. This is my favorite drop shot rod I've ever used. Doesn't matter the company. It's top quality. It's great for when you're catching those real big smallmouth. Because it's got enough backbone. Some of them, when you're using a medium action, it's a wet noodle, and you got a 6-pounder on the end of the line. It works you over. But I threw that with a jackhammer spinning reel as well. This is the 2500, and that's made my favorite. I'm using them this coming year, so I'm really excited. I've been playing with them a little bit now. You can see the line. That's Seaguar. It's Smackdown. That's size 20. The color is flash green, which is also important because it's got that high visibility. Super bright, that way you can really detect those real subtle bites. I also like the Braid because it provides more sensitivity. So there's no stretch in Braid, like you know, and what that does is it lets it transfer from the line into the rod, and you feel everything then. So I go down, I'll tie that to an Alberto knot. It's actually right there, if you can see it's real small, thin. I go from the 20-pound Smackdown Braid to 8-pound Seaguar Tatsu Fluorocarbon leader, and I like to go with that 8 on most days. There's some days when it's super clear out, no wind, super sunny, and those fish can see very well. You might want to drop it down to 6 just to get a couple extra bites. There's also days when it's real rough and I don't think it'll matter. I'll bump it up and I'll go to 10-pound. So you can play with that a little bit. Weight size, that varies depending on what exactly you're trying to accomplish depth-wise, wind-wise. Good all-around weight, that's a angler tungsten. It's 3/8 ounce, so it's a good size. And what I like about their weight here is it's actually, you can see it's painted there, it's covered. It's not shiny and silver like a lot of companies that have a tungsten weight like that. And what that does is the fish don't key in on that, they key in on the bait more so, which is huge because I can't tell you how many times a year I'll have a bait that actually gets bitten by the smallmouth, and you go to reel down, set the hook, and you pull up, and your weight's gone. They actually have that in their mouth because it's shiny, it catches their eye, and when it's falling down there past their head so quick, it's just a reaction strike at that point. So when I'm fishing real deep, I like 3/8, ½ ounce. When it gets real windy, I typically go all the way with a ½ ounce. If you're fishing shallower, you go with that 1/4, but you just want to make sure you're maintaining contact, feel the bottom. That way you know when you're on the rock versus on the sand, on the gravel. It makes a big difference when you know what those fish are keying on, making sure you're in the right place at the right time. So that takes us to the Z-Man trick shot. And you can see it's a little 3.5 inch bait, little guy. And I really, really like this. It's got that flat top. It's got the keel shaped bottom. And what this does is it lets it cut through the water when it's sitting in there and gives it that supernatural lifelike motion. It also has a flat tail that sits horizontally, just like that in the water. So it catches a lot of that water and it lets it just free flow real naturally in the water. That size is perfect. If you have looked on the bottom, like I'd take an aqua view, the camera, you can drop that to the bottom. You'll see what the rock is. You'll see what bait's down there, which is really cool. And a lot of times, like, it's just littered with gobies if you're fishing the Great Lakes. And that size right there is the size of those gobies. So it just mimics them perfectly. It also, if you change the color up, this is in Gobe Bryant, one of my favorite colors. It looks just like a goby. It's got that clearish bottom, the green pumpkinish top. It's got a little bit of copper and chartreuse. It's a little pearly, just like the bottom of those fish are. So it mimics a forage better than anything I've seen out there, which is why I like it. If you're fishing around an area that has those giant gobies, I've caught them bigger than my hand before, which is insane. They'll eat a drop shot off you. But they have a 4.2 size of this trick shot as well. So I'll upsize to that occasionally. It just depends on who you're trying to mimic and exactly what you're looking for. The hook there, that's a Hayabusa. That's a size 2. It's called the DSR 132 HD, which is key. I like the heavy duty one when I'm fishing for those real big smallies. It won't bend down on you. If you use the regular DSR 132, it's a real light wire hook, which is great for penetration. But when you catch a 6-pounder and they're leaning on it, it tends to open the hook up a little bit. So I would recommend getting the HD version if you're going after those truly giant trophy smallmouth. Like I said, that's a size 2. It's a little tiny hook. I like to bring that right out the nose of the bait, and it sits real lifelike and natural like that, just because, like I said, it looks just like the profile of the bait they're on, and it's at Elastec, so it'll float up there perfectly. It just really gets in those fish's face. So when you're catching those fish, I drop down. A lot of times you'll see in the video, I'm either dropping right in front of the boat, or I might pitch out a little bit, just depending on when I see them on my Lowrance. You can judge exactly where those fish are, and you want to put it right on their nose. And the closer you get that bait to them, typically they'll bite right away. It's pretty neat. It's a great technique for catching them, and I love when you can video game them up. So if you want to get better at your drop shot and smallmouth tactics, go on, watch the video. You'll see how I load up the rod, where I'm not going setting the hook super hard or anything like that. You reel down and you give them a hard pull into them, buries that hook. That hook will go right in the roof of their mouth, right in the front lip, pegs them there probably 90% of the time. That's where you want them. It's when it gets out on the side, if they eat it weird, you have more of a chance of losing them. But keep your pressure on them, reel into them. As you're fighting those fish, you want to try to keep them down as much as you can. A lot of times, a little secret is, if you hook them under the boat, you can keep them under the boat. Just this drag system on these is super smooth. You can loosen it up. You can even back reel with these, which is pretty cool. Not all reels have that nowadays. But if you keep them under the boat, that means they can't jump, which is awesome, because you want to play that fish out, get them a little bit tired, get them up next to the boat, and either if you're scooping them with your hand or if you got the net, you don't have to worry about them jumping and freaking out next to the boat and losing them. Or when you cast away far in front of the boat, when you hook them, they have that natural tendency just to go like this, straight up. And everybody loves the smallmouth jump when you're fun fishing, but when it comes to a tournament, about to give you a heart attack. So there's a few little tips, and you'll see exactly how it all works out. I caught a couple big ones in this video. If you stick through the one section, it's a little, the fish are a little bit smaller, but I caught 4 in, I think, 4 casts. And that was a pretty cool day out there, pretty epic. And I just want to thank you for taking the time to watch this. If you want to pick up any of this favorite gear here, you can get 20% off with GB20. I hope you guys have a good holidays, and thanks for watching.
Okay, good?
I don't know if he's big, but
He doesn't come shooting off like a...
it's not a big. I don't know. Toss you with it though. See there, trick shot. Good for a tungsten drop shot weight. This one. Put him back. I think I am. Oh, maybe I did. You want at him?
It's a good one.
Yeah. more of a pain than it's worth.
Got one? With the net?
not all mine.
Oh.
That's on my back transition. Oh shit.
I'm not feeling bottom again. Are you?
It's not like super rocky here.
Oh, okay.
This time you did that, you called one.
What?
Last time that happened, you called one.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like you want to be on the bottom because the fish is swimming around with it. You just didn't know.
lick it. Ew. That is so weird. He's got on his dome piece. Can you get a picture?
Yeah. Keep away from those things.
Ew. Doesn't seem to be bothering him.
Did you ask him?
No, I mean, it looks healthy.
Oh. Massive sore on his head. See all of this right there.
The new grass?
Yeah. Down there, you can see like 6 or 7 of them. It's weird, they're not on the bottom.
Oh, really? So when are they eating your drop shot?
I don't know if they eat it before it hits the bottom or what.